How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with another historic Brawl deck. We're playing Nethroi, Apex of Death. Now, Nethroi himself in this particular deck is kind of a misdirection, because while he is technically a good commander for the deck, the theme of the deck is Elves. And the reason we have Nethroi is because Elves are primarily in this color combination, whose name I'm not remembering at the moment. It's not Sultai, it's Abzan. Are primarily in the Abzan colors. Now in the Abzan colors there is an elf who is legendary, whose name is also escaping. Kethis of the Hidden Hand, there we go. Kethis is a good elf. I don't want to disparage him, but he's not an elf commander, right? Like, he cares about legendary creatures. That's his whole stick. He makes them cheaper and lets you cast them from the graveyard, which is nice. It's not really what we're looking for in an elf ball deck, though. Oh, Scurry Oak. I'm always scared when I see a Scurry Oak. Huh. Let's get down an Abomination. And then we'll end her off there. We can make our Incubation Druid bigger next turn. There's a word for that. It's a keyword on the card, but I'm too ashamed to hover over the card to look at it. Plus, I think if I hover over the card, our opponent will think to themselves, wow, I actually do need to answer that this turn instead of doing whatever I wanted to do. Well, now they don't really have a choice. We can wait till blocks, though. That'll be the most efficient way of doing it. I don't think they'll attack this time around, but they very well may. And if they do, we'd be sad if something bad happened. So we're going to adapt, which is the keyword I was thinking of. I have access to 6 mana from creatures, 4 from... what do you call them? Now, do I want to draw cards? Or do I want to deal damage? I think I want to draw cards, actually. Gonna go white. And then we'll swing in for 8. So, the reason Nethroi is our commander is because elves tend to have low powers. Low power, and that way we can reanimate a bunch of them for next to nothing. And the ideal is that if we get wrathed away, Nethroi just kind of solves the problem. Now, there are a couple of white elves, which is why we have white as one of our primary colors, but there aren't a lot of them. What white really adds to the deck is a couple of enchantments. So there's Takasa's Welcome, which is a really good elf card. It's just not good enough to be a good elf card in formats where elves are a thing, right? Like, you wouldn't splash white for it in your historic Brawl or in your historic elf decks or your Explorer elf deck. I don't know if there's an Explorer elf deck. We're up against Thalids, which is a little weird, but I can respect it. I think I'm going to play some elves. And I think this accidentally just kills my opponent. I'm sorry, opponent. Yeah, I have a Crater Hoof. Forgot about that. GG. I don't see how the Stallions get out of this one. So we got in the historic anthology, Shaman of the Pack, which kind of does something similar to Skullfield Elder. And I have those kind of effects in the deck too, which are kind of secondary win conditions for elves. Hey, look at that. We got a charming groom, or a charmed groom. I guess it's kind of a pun, isn't it? That was our game 1. I'm going to go on to game 2. For those of you who don't know, Elves is one of my favorite tribes. Mainly because they're just a really well-defined tribe. Like, they have the 1 mana dorks. They build up a bunch of mana, and then they cast some spell to win the game. That's the elf plan, right? Like, Craterhoof is just the best, most efficient way of doing it. But you also have, like, some blue-red versions that just do fireballs. And I think that Elves is kind of, their day in the sun is, like, the bad guy of the format. Kind of over anyways, because, like, Mono Green Devotion just does what the Elves get flack for 10 times better than the Elves. Like, it doesn't necessarily make more mana, because I think like an Elf Ball deck can make more mana over the course of a game, but it makes more mana efficiently early on in the game. So whereas with your Elf deck, like, you can get to 8 mana pretty quickly, but you're not going to be on 8 mana on, like, turn 2. Or not turn 2, like, turn 3 or 4. Like, you can get there, but it's not going to be a common occurrence. I think we're going to go with this. And just swing it for 1. A little bit of protection. You know, I've never thought of running the cycle in my historic Brawl decks, but I wonder if it is just worth it. Because in a cinch, it's just mana fixing, right? It's really good mana fixing that it's also a creature later on when the mana fixing becomes unnecessary. I think I'm missing an elf. I think I'm missing a really good elf. I'm gonna check between this match and the next one. There's a 2 mana one that whenever an elf enters the battlefield, you create another elf. I don't know if I put him in the deck. He really should be because he's a really good elf, but there was a lot of other things I wanted to put in the deck too. Like, I wanted to show off some of the weird color elves that exist, particularly in Golgari. But then you have like 2 entries in Selesnya that are just big elves that make tokens. So do I Shaman or do I don't really have. I have 1 creature, so it's technically a mana dork. But I don't think this wins me the game, so I think we're going for this. She's a good blocker. Good blocker. I don't know if she actually is, because these kind of Jund decks tend to have answers to things. Yeah, like the fight spells. Do they want to see if they can make some mana? No block. We live or we die this turn. Huh. I think we swing in. And then maybe? I think we're a little short, but yeah, we're one life short. That's kind of sad. Do we die this turn, opponent? Yes, we do. Good to know. Or do I? I don't know if I do. I definitely take at least 2 damage this turn, which is pretty bad, actually. Pretty bad. So if we block here, we only take 2. Then we have to block here. Then we have to block here. Then we have to block here. Yep. That's the game, opponent. 1-1. So that was our game 2. We are 2-0 with Elves, which is to be expected. It's a tribe that I'm very comfortable playing. Very familiar with the play patterns. You know, sometimes I say that and the deck I'm working with just gets obliterated and I look like a complete fool. And I always get to laugh at myself when that happens because it's just bound to happen, isn't it? Like you try to show off your cool skill and then you immediately trip over yourself. Part of human nature. Nothing can be done about it. This is a very bad hand. I think I'll mulligan it. Up against Old Rustane. If I had to choose a deck to lose to, I would lose to Uncle Rustane or Old Rustane every day of the week. I don't know why I call him Uncle Rustane. I don't have any uncles named Rustane. I don't even have any uncles that have remotely similar names. Well, this is the best we're gonna get. Emmara on 2. Dwayne's Elite on 3. When Emmara kind of gets shut down. I imagine that's what's going to happen. I do imagine that. Alright. Green source go. The most important source in the deck. Some neat artwork too, actually. So, Emmara, Soul of the Accord. Do you think they have removal spells? I bet they do. We'll see the trade. Then we can go into Gwenna. Cemetery Tampering. So it's a top 5? Huh. I don't know. If I wasn't so worried about removal, I think we'd be doing okay, but I am kind of worried about removal. I actually think I'm gonna go into... Well, that was a weird way of doing it. Yeah, we'll do that. So we have 5 creatures, 3 elves, 2 non-elves. Gix got put in the deck for the same reason that Toxic got put in the deck. They basically serve as just draw engines. Like if they were enchantments, they would still go in the deck. There's our victory. This has been a pretty short one. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time around. Bye for now.